Hello, everyone. My name is Josh, and this is the Skype for Business recap. For those of you that have watched the show before or are longtime viewers, you might have wondered if the recap had fallen off the face of the earth or if I decided to just stop doing it. I assure you that is definitely not the case. The last few weeks have been a very busy culmination of what has been a massively long transition in my family's timeline here, and we finally ended what was a long in transition shift and have moved into a new home and are getting settled. I'm in my new office, thank goodness. Finally, I'm getting some permanency, a good setup. You'll notice if you watched before, I've got my board back, my whiteboard with all my hashtags and @ signs of the things I'm talking about for each show, and getting things set up and designed a bit better. This is very exciting for me, but it does bring a lot of change with it. I'm now in Florida for starters, so that's quite a change from Austin. Obviously, there are some ramifications with my continuation of being the host of the Austin user group. There will be some changes there eventually, but more will come on that in the right time. In the meantime, we're here, we're in Florida, we're getting settled. The recap is resuming normal operations. We are back to doing our usual thing. I don't know if Fridays are going to be the norm anymore. And let's face it, Fridays were never really a norm. I mean, I could not keep a set schedule for the show for the life of me. Friday, Sunday, Monday, Saturday, somewhere in there, we would get the recap out, and it was just getting, well, frankly, ridiculous. So I'm going to try to settle on a date that works, that is solid, and that I can do each week. So we'll see what shakes out there. I'll let you know as I explore that more. As you can see, a few big topics today. I am not going to cover topics from the entire several weeks that I missed the recap because there's just too much to cover in that time frame. So these things are things that occurred recently in the last couple weeks or so, and we are going to dive into them today, talk a bit about them, and let's do that. Let's go over to the Infinity screen and let's get this show kicked off right. Here we go, the Infinity screen and browser. First stop, SkypePreview.com, right? Because a lot of news goes through preview first. One of those items being, if you will look down here in the center, PSTN Calling has hit preview in Germany. So PSTN Calling plans are expanding, and now this is kind of a slower growing component compared to dial-in conferencing and cloud PBX functionality, all that stuff. But it is growing. This is yet another country in EMEA. There's some pretty good coverage there now. Well, in preview anyway, we've got some countries that have made GA. Hopefully, this will make GA before too long. And I don't know if this is in the works or not, but I'm hoping we'll start to see some APAC coverage as well pretty soon, just to get more of a global, rounded coverage thing going. I think that'd be great, but we'll see if that happens. At any rate, if you are in Germany or your clients are in Germany and you've been waiting for this to test it out, to just dive headfirst into production with it, now's the time. Start signing up for the preview and get testing. Okay, next up, Randy Chapman. Great person to follow on Twitter if you are trying to keep in the know about what news is with Skype for Business, and you don't want to wait for whenever I get around to doing the recap every week. He's one of these good people to keep an eye on. One of his tweets from a while back, it looks like 23rd of May is the item that he retweeted anyway, on the 24th of May. Microsoft Teams, the iOS app, has got quite a nice boost in the last couple weeks here. We have several tabbed items. Tabs, speaking of tabs are finally visible on mobile, including the Planner and OneNote tabs. So that is pretty sweet. Editing of messages that you've sent, including messages with images. Design updates for chat and Teams list view. Team admin, you can promote and demote users to owner. You can follow or unfollow a channel. And lots of bug fixes and performance improvements. Those are all good things. It's your generic disclaimer. We fixed a bunch of stuff statement. So very cool. Thanks for sharing this, Randy. I personally do not have an iOS device, so seeing people share these updates with me is great because I don't really get notified when there's something new to be had there. So if you have been following Teams and you have an iOS device like millions and millions of people out there do, celebrate, you have new functionality. Go check it out. Speaking of Teams, let's go over to the UserVoice site. If you haven't heard of this or don't know what this is the Microsoft Teams UserVoice site. This is the closely monitored site where we, as consumers and users of Teams, can give our feedback, thoughts, suggestions, etc. And I say well monitored because we actually have people that interact with us, answer our questions, and give us direct feedback from the support team. I love this. It has been great. The way this works, we've got a few different categories: hot items, top ideas, new. We can see up here that we've got, where is it at? Somewhere on this page I saw a few minutes ago. I'm not sure where I saw it. A little over 3,000 actual ideas submitted now. Something I want to point out, a while back, I submitted something. Let's see, there's the top idea, number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5. I submitted this idea. It has now climbed its way to number 5, and it is a request for complete Skype for Business integration into Microsoft Teams. I'm not saying that you should get rid of one client or the other, or that there are some organizations where they might only need one client. What I'm saying is, in either case, this request is saying in either case, if you use both, the chat history should be the same between them, the presence should be the same between them, the ability to dial out to the PSTN should be the same between them. All these things should have one backend, or at least very well bridged backends to where there is synchronization across both products. That is my ask of this request. It has gotten voted up to number 5 out of all these ideas. And if you haven't voted yet, I would really appreciate if you went out to the site and voted that up, because I really want to see that come in, and I haven't got a better response yet than under review. Sufatra, she is very receptive to feedback and very good at responding, and I'm really trying to get her to scream into the product team's ears that we want this. So vote it up, be loud about it, let them know. I hope we'll see some developments there over the coming months. Speaking of which, it is June, and Microsoft has committed to this top item being done in June. Federation External Access for Teams. I cannot wait for that. That is going to be exciting. Next up, CU5. Skype for Business Server Cumulative Update 5 finally hit. Here's all the items that are what's new. Here is a little link to the download itself. The thing that many of us were waiting for and excited for on CU5 is that it was said that Windows Server 2016 support would come with CU5. Unfortunately, that has not happened yet. If we scroll down into the comments down here, that's the very first comment. Support for Windows Server 2016. This page mentions it would be coming in CU5. We're told by Lori to stay tuned. It's coming. We scroll all the way to the bottom here. It says looks like support is included. Support to use Server 2016 is here. And then we have Thomas Binder saying, unfortunately, that article was published prematurely. They will announce via their blog as soon as it is supported. So if you see CU5 and think, sweet, I'm going to go build it on Windows Server 2016, hold your horses. It may work, but it's not yet supported. Keep that in mind and watch out for the blog post or for the recap. I will definitely be covering that when that hits. Still a lot of good updates that came with CU5. One of those is Skype Meetings App plugin. Now, if you'll notice, it again doesn't say Skype for Business Meetings App plugin. A little bit of marketing, a little bit of branding, subliminal messaging going there. I just want to know, when are we all going to drop for business? I mean, seriously, how many things have come out now that just say Skype? And even when there are presentations and speeches being given, you tend to hear the word Skype when referring to Skype for Business. So anyway, just some of my observations, and it's interesting. Let's keep watching that. At any rate, Dino Caputo, another Office Servers and Services MVP, he had a great post on this talking about how the Skype Meetings App plugin changes things from the current way of the Skype for Business plugin, how that's obtained, kind of the pain that customers go through when a user joins a meeting and doesn't have the local client. This talks about how that has changed. One of those ways is by serving up the download via Azure Content Delivery Network, CDN based. How to change the join launcher to use the Azure CDN. Has it all documented nicely here. And then it gives us the joining a meeting experience. All very cool stuff. He says, please note that once the app is installed, subsequent meeting joins will go straight to the welcome screen where the user enters their name. Very, very cool. So thanks for writing this all up, Dino. This is exciting and good things. The web-based meeting join experience has needed a facelift for quite some time, and we're finally getting there. All right, guys. Back over to the Infinity screen, back to main window. I am so excited to be back doing the recap once again. I'm excited to have things slowing down and normalizing in my life so that I can get back to a lot more community-focused work. Maybe start cranking out some blog posts. The Skype for Business Hybrid Handbook has been in dire need of an update. Maybe something with a little bit of Teams in there, right? I mean, it's related-ish. So I got some work to do. It's time to get busy. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my first show back after several weeks, I hope you will share it, retweet it, shout it from the rooftops, all that good stuff. And I hope that I will have a normal date set for you soon of when I will do this every week and that I will see you back here next week. Thanks for watching. Adios.